What's up, you guys? Welcome back to our channel. Today's video is one that has been asked for many times in the past couple of weeks. So this video is just gonna be me. Josh is out right now. But this is like a total girl video anyway, because we were talking about periods again and hormonal birth control and all that stuff. So I wanted to just talk about the form of birth control that I'm currently doing because I've been getting a lot of questions about it, and I feel like some people just don't even know it exists, because I certainly did not. So I thought I would just do a quick little overview of what I'm doing and give you guys some more info there. And if you're watching this video, just know these are my personal opinions and experiences, but this information is science-backed. It's real. You can buy a couple books about it that I will recommend that are in the description box, so read up on it more if it interests you, and just know that this is just me sharing my journey. So I feel like a lot of people assumed when I said I was quitting the pill that we were just gonna try to have a baby, and we're not quite there yet. We're not ready for a baby yet. So I was looking into all my options, and none of the pills or the patches or the shot or any of that really interested me at all. And I just felt like I didn't know what I wanted to do, and that's why it took me so long to even quit the pill in the first place, because I felt like as women we just didn't have any options out there. So that's when I stumbled across the FAM method, or the fertility awareness method, and I don't even know how I stumbled across it, to be honest with you, but I heard about it. I kind of heard what it was about, and I was like a little skeptical at first because I didn't think I would be able to do it, and it seemed like a lot of work and just a lot of things I just was not familiar with. So I bought the first book that I'm going to recommend, Taking Charge of Your Fertility, and I read that in like 2 days, and I was like, this is exactly what I need right now. So it kind of just was like a light bulb moment, and I was like, yes, this is what I want. So I think like the next day after I read the book, I stopped taking my pill, and it's history from there. So you're probably wondering what the heck I'm talking about with the FAM method, or the fertility awareness method. So FAM is basically a set of practices and guidelines that you use to determine your fertile and infertile parts of your cycle. So every woman's cycle is a little bit different, or a lot of bit different, and I know there's this like big misconception that your cycle should be 28 days exactly every month for it to be perfect, and that's so not true. So the book kind of discusses this and like what a normal cycle looks like, what an abnormal cycle looks like, and it goes into FAM a little bit deeper. So again, if you want to learn more about this and practice it, go read that book. That's like step one of this journey. So the best thing about FAM is that it can be used to prevent pregnancy, it can be used to achieve pregnancy, and it can be used to test your health. And I just feel like growing up, I didn't know any of this stuff. Like, we learned the basics in health class in 5th grade, and after that it was like a little bit here and there, but I didn't know how my body worked this much in depth, and it was just like totally eye-opening to me. So with the FAM method, there's basically 3 different fertility signs that you track every single day. And the first one is your temperature. The second one is your cervical mucus, or your cervical fluid, and the third one is the position of your cervix and if it's open or not. A big misconception with FAM is people think it's the rhythm method. It is not the rhythm method. So the rhythm method is not backed by science, and the rhythm method only has you tracking your temperature. The problem with that is if you're only tracking your temperature can only tell you in retrospect if you've ovulated. So it tells you you've ovulated, but after it's already happened, which is kind of a problem if you're trying to prevent pregnancy. So the other 2 guidelines, tracking your cervical mucus as well as the position and opening of your cervix, are both going to confirm that you're fertile or infertile. Basically, all women are fertile, give or take, for about 7 days of their cycle, and that's it. which is something I didn't know. I just thought you could get pregnant at any time before reading this book. So every day I wake up and I take my temperature every morning at the same time. Taking it at the same time is pretty critical, so that's why I've been waking up at the same time every day. Luckily my schedule allows me to do that currently. So I've been waking up at about 6:30, 7 a.m. every day, and the first thing that I do is I take my temperature while I'm still in bed. So I keep my thermometer right next to my bed, take my temp every morning, and then I quickly just input it into the app. So a temperature spike means that you've ovulated as long as it's 0.2 higher than your previous 6 temperatures for that week. So that's kind of how you can confirm ovulation, along with checking your cervical fluid and your cervical positioning every day. Once that temperature drops, that's how you know you're gonna get your period either that day or the next day. So it's really cool to see and track your cycles, because you will always know when your period is going to come, give or take a couple days. So with your cervical mucus, you kind of go through a few days where it changes, and I'm not gonna go into detail to spare any men watching this, or even some women, because it was kind of like crazy at first to me to read about, because like, who wants to talk about what's coming out of their body? But it's crucial, and it's so helpful and beneficial to this whole process. And something that I do is I use an app to track this. It's called Kindara, Kindara, and it's on the App Store. It's free for a month, so you get a month to try it out, and then it does cost money. I think it's $5 a month that I pay, or you can pay for the year. And that is so crucial for me because it keeps everything organized. I can see my chart on there. I'll put like a couple pictures up here for you guys to see what it looks like. You go down the data input section and you check off what's happening that day, what your temperature was, and it creates this cool chart for you. So that's worth it to me, because as much as I try to be a pen and paper person, charting my cycle on pen and paper is just, it's not gonna happen. So that's pretty much fam in a nutshell. This is a very vague and general video, so I told you guys, if you're interested, read that book, absolutely. It does go very in-depth about everything you could think of regarding fam, and I reference it, you know, at least once a week still while I'm still learning. But I do want to address a couple pointers that I feel like you're probably thinking, or maybe you're afraid someone is going to ask you. But when you come off the birth control pill, your cycles are going to be irregular for a little while. Mine, I've had 2 cycles so far. I'm in my 3rd one now since I came off the pill, and the first one was pretty wacky. The second one was a little bit better, and I confirmed ovulation in my second one, and now I'm on my 3rd one. So they're gonna be crazy. They're different for everybody. There's no really telling when you're gonna ovulate again after you come off the pill. There's no telling when you're gonna get your period back. Being on the pill, you're not having a real period anyway, so even if you're bleeding every single month, it's not a real period, it's just a pill bleed. You're not ovulating, so there's no way of telling if your body is healthy, if your cycles are normal, or if they're irregular. So if this interests you at all, I highly recommend you talk to your doctor or come up with a plan to figure out your next steps, because I think this is a super important and beneficial thing to do for everybody. And then second, this method, like I said, is backed by science. It has a 98% success rate as far as birth control goes if it's done correctly. So if you take the time to learn it and track and get used to, you know, charting your cycles, it really is such an easy way to not be on birth control and to not get pregnant. I know this probably freaks a lot of you guys out because there's so many factors and there's so many things you have to know, but it's just like anything else. I kind of compare it to learning how to track your macros. A lot of you guys are coming from my fitness Instagram page. It's the same process. You just have to learn how to do it, and then it will become like second nature to you. I'm already in my 3rd cycle and I already feel so much more comfortable, and I am like aware of my body more, and that's only gonna get easier as time goes on. So I'm gonna end the video here. Hopefully that this was helpful to you guys who are curious about it, and as always, if you have questions or if you want to add on to this conversation, you can comment them below. And I am actually filming my review of my tampon alternative right after this video, so that will be up in a couple of days after you guys are watching this. I ditched tampons when I ditched the pill, so stay tuned for that one. And if you enjoyed this little chat, give it a thumbs up. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!